wait, did you hear that? 6 billion. That's not the population of a country. That's the number of times Jimin's solo songs have been streamed on Spotify. 6 billion moments when someone pressed play, 6 billion times his voice filled someone's day, and 6 billion reasons why this achievement is rewriting music history. Spotify is the world's biggest music stage. It's where every artist, from legends to newcomers, competes for listeners' attention. And in this massive ocean of music, Jimin has done the unthinkable, becoming the first and only K-pop soloist to surpass 6 billion solo streams. No collaborations, no guest features, just Jimin's music, standing tall on its own. That's not just an achievement, it's proof of a connection between an artist and millions of listeners the world. Let's put it into perspective. On Jimin's Spotify profile, there are 34 songs. Out of those, 22 are pure solo tracks. And here's the incredible part. More than 80% of his streams, that's over 6 billion, come from just his solo songs. This tells us something powerful. People aren't listening because of flashy features or hype from collaborations. They're listening because Jimin's voice, lyrics, and artistry are enough on their own. He doesn't need anyone else in the studio to dominate the charts. He's proven he can do it all by himself. And at the very top of this achievement is one song, Who. This track, the title song from his second album, Muse, has already soared to nearly 2 billion streams. 2 billion. And it spent an unbelievable 33 weeks on Billboard's Hot 100. That's more than half a year of holding on to one of the toughest and most competitive charts in the world. Think about it. Week after week, people across continents kept playing, replaying, and keeping Jimin on that stage. And then there's Like Crazy. Do you remember the moment when it became the very first K-pop solo song to hit #1 on Billboard's Hot 100? That memory isn't just history. It's still alive today, because the song has now gathered over 1.39 billion streams on Spotify. Even after all this time, fans and casual listeners alike are still drawn to its sound, its story, and Jimin's unforgettable delivery. These aren't just songs. They're experiences people keep returning to. But the story doesn't end with individual songs. Jimin has achieved something no other K-pop soloist has ever done on albums as well. Both of his solo albums, Face and Muse, have each crossed 2.6 billion streams. Muse alone has rocketed past 3.3 billion streams in record time, making it the fastest Korean album ever to reach that milestone on Spotify. And Face, his very first solo album, has already built a legacy of over 2.6 billion streams. 2 different albums, 2 different eras of his artistry, and both rewriting global records. Now think about what this means. Jimin isn't just part of K-pop history, he's shaping global music history. When someone listens to a song 6 billion times, that's not just background music. That's comfort on a difficult day. That's energy when motivation feels low. That's joy, tears, and healing, all wrapped in melodies and lyrics. Every stream is a choice, and 6 billion choices show just how much his artistry resonates. From Like Crazy to Who, from Face to Muse, Jimin is showing the world that his music isn't just popular, it's timeless. He's not chasing records, the records are chasing him. And with every achievement, one thing becomes clear. This is only the beginning of Jimin's story as a solo artist. The world is listening, and they can't stop pressing play.